Okay, we have started with the topic of the contemporary relation between Indo-US. That is, chale saath saath, forward together we go. Okay. After that, we have discussed about the positive aspects as well as the Sismoa, Lemoa, Beka, Comcasa, H1B visa issue. All this we will be discussing. Katsa. Indo-Nepal को हमने discuss किया था. Like the Prime Minister has visited and geographical, historical, and cultural links with the Nepal. Then we have discussed about the any aggression against Nepal or Bhutan will be considered as the aggression against the India. Okay, this we were discussing. Then we have discussed about the Mahakali Treaty between India and Nepal. What is the most important project into this? Pancheshwar multi-purpose project. Okay. Then after that we were discussing about the Indo-Bhutan, that is the B2B. What is B2B? Bharat to Bhutan. Okay. In this, we were discussing about the Treaty of Friendship and Cooperation and the hydroelectricity power dam developed by the government of India. Then we are discussed about the contemporary relations between the Indo-Bhutan. Okay. Today we have to complete with the Indo-Myanmar. Okay. We have also to complete with the Indo-Sri Lanka, including the Indo-Maldives. If we are able to complete with these three relations, possibly we'll start with the Indo-Pakistan. Okay. So I request all the online and the offline students, give the heading Indo-Myanmar. Indo-Myanmar. Introduction. Myanmar, formerly known as Burma, Myanmar, formerly known as Burma, is an important nation state, is an important nation state among Southeast Asian countries. Among Southeast Asian countries. It has a long border with India. Its capital is Naypyidaw. Screen. Its capital is Naypyidaw. And the largest city is screen Yangon or Rangoon. Right. Okay. The people of Myanmar are the followers of Myanmar are the followers of capital words inverted commas Theravada Buddhism. Theravada Theravada Buddhism. ठीक है. Myanmar got independence from UK on January 4, 1948. On January 4, 1948, and its latest constitution was recently developed on March 30, 2011. March 30, 2011. History. Okay, subheading history. Subheading. Before 1937, Myanmar part of India. Before 1937, Myanmar part of India. Right about this. Till 1937, Myanmar was the part of India. Basically to serve and preserve the British imperial interest On April 1, 1937, Myanmar was separated from India and was made as a independent nation state and was made as a independent nation state. Subheading: Beginning of Indo-Myanmar relations. Beginning of Indo-Myanmar relations. Right about this. Indo-Myanmar relations begin as Indo-Myanmar relations begin as highly cooperative relations because of the personal friendship between Prime Minister Nehru and Myanmar's leader Aung San and Myanmar's leader Aung San. Subheading: Naga and Mizo rebels. Naga and Mizo rebels. Naga and Mizo Mizo rebels and Indo-Myanmar relations. And Indo-Myanmar relations. Right about this. Naga and Mizo rebels of India. Naga and Mizo rebels of India who were protesting for a new nation state, who were protesting for a new nation state, have made the use of Myanmar territories for organizing anti-national and unlawful activities in the area of NEFA, NEFA, Northeastern Frontier Agency or Northeastern Frontier Tract, NEFA. Give the next subheading: Issue of restoration of democracy. Issue of restoration of democracy in Myanmar and Indo-Myanmar relations. In Myanmar and Indo-Myanmar relations. Underline this, right about this. People of India have been the supporter. People of India have been the supporter of movement for restoration of democracy, in Myanmar. India wanted a smooth transfer of power from capital words inverted commas SLORC, State Law and Order Restoration Council, SLORC, State Law and Order Restoration Council, to the NLD. to the NLD, National League for Democracy. Contemporary relations. Right about this. India has launched its first shipping policies to the Myanmar. Second point, Myanmar will also be connected with the TARN, Trans Asian Railway Network. Okay. Next point. New Delhi is ready to create a modern national army for Myanmar. New Delhi is ready to create a modern national army for Myanmar. Next point. Kaladan Kaladan multi-model Kaladan multi-model transport project and Stillwell Road. Transport project and Stillwell Road. Indo-Sri Lanka. Fastly. Indo-Sri Lanka. Red Bulls. Introduction. Sri Lanka SL. Okay. Sri Lanka is an island nation in the South Asia. Its capital is Sri Jayawardhanepura. Its capital is Sri Jayawardhanepura. It shares maritime border with India and Maldives. Okay. Earlier it was known as Ceylon. Earlier it was known as Ceylon. And there is a majority of Sinhalese people in Sri Lanka. Okay. Subheading. Strong traditional and cultural links with Sri Lanka. Strong traditional and cultural links with Sri Lanka. Red Bulls. Both Sinhalese and Tamilians, this one Sinhalese and Tamilians, who constitute 70% and 12% of Sri Lanka's total population, accept, ACCEPT, accept their traditional links with India, accept their traditional links with India. Sinhalese consider themselves as the Sinhalese consider themselves as the descendants of Aryans, descendants of Aryans of North India, whereas Tamilians consider themselves as the whereas Tamilians consider themselves as the descendants of descendants of Dravidians, Dravidians of South India, Dravidians of South India. Is clear? LTT issue, LTTE, LTT, ध्यान से लिखेंगे सब, LTT issue with Sri Lanka. Write down the full form of the organization. Liberation Tigers, Liberation Tigers of Tamil Elam. Screen. Liberation Tigers of Tamil Elam. Okay. मैं सिर्फ आपसे डिस्कस करूंगा. In 500 words you have to write about this by self. Okay, इसके ब्रैकेट में लिख दीजिए 500 words, approximately 2 पेज छोड़ दीजिए आप इसके लिए. Okay. After that, give the subheading issues with Sri Lanka. Yes, 500 words. Issued with Sri Lanka. Read in the first issue. Ownership of Kachativu. Ownership of Kachativu Island. Explanation. It is said that Sri Lanka is trying to develop a. It is said that Sri Lanka is trying to develop a military base on Kachativu Island. Both countries, India and Sri Lanka, both countries, India and Sri Lanka, claim this island on the basis of historical links. On the basis of historical links. Write down the second issue with the Sri Lanka, status of Indian Ocean. Status of Indian Ocean. Earlier, Sri Lanka considered Indian Ocean as capital words inverted commas, IOZOP. Indian Ocean as zone of peace. IOZOP. Indian Ocean as zone of peace. But after 1960, Sri Lanka increased. But after 1960, 1960, Sri Lanka increased its naval activities into the ocean. Its naval activities into the ocean. ठीक है. Third point लिख लीजिए. Differences over NPT. What was that? Non-proliferation treaty we have done into the Indo-Japan. Okay, लिखिए इसके बारे में थोड़ा. Sri Lanka desires that India should sign NPT. Sri Lanka desires that India should sign NPT and it wants South Asia. And it wants South Asia as a NWFZ, nuclear weapon free zone. ठीक है. Contemporary relations. First point, Sri Lanka supports India's membership to UNSC. Second point, India has supplied 2 naval ships. India has supplied 2 naval ships to the Sri Lanka for the maritime security. For the maritime security, the 2 OPVs screen. The 2 OPVs, offshore petrol vessels. The 2 OPVs will be built by the Goa based